The Reporters President team is working today from the Akordar residence in Kazakhstan's capital, covering their first official visit of Rwandan President Paul Kagame. The week in Astana promises to be busy, with the Astana International Forum kicking off tomorrow and the Italian Prime Minister visit expected the day after. We're here to bring you all exclusive details, so let's get started. The first official visit of the President of Rwanda takes place after an invitation President Tokayev offered during a bilateral meeting at the climate conference COP29 in Baku.
We are now on the process of establishing a solid, strong relationship based on trade and investment. We reviewed a number of areas in which we can trade or we can cooperate, like education, like security and defense, like critical minerals and agriculture. So there are so much potential for us to promote trade and investment, to strengthen our bilateral relations. And actually, we believe that after this official visit, presidential visit, we will have maybe a trade mission in both countries to now look into details the areas of cooperation that we can have.
Paul Kagame, who is known as a rigor reformist and visionist who is able to transform his country into an economic powerhouse of the African continent, visits Kazakhstan for the second time. Boosting economic cooperation is, of course, a main priority and demand of the time. One of the areas of mutual interest today lies in the digital and airspace industries. As Minister of Digital Development Ruslan Madiev says, Rwanda is particularly interested in Kazakhstan's communications and Earth observation satellites.
We are very actively promoting satellites to global markets. Last year we signed export contract with Mongolia. This year we signed with Congo. During the Astana International Forum, there will be an announcement of the signing another contract. We'll announce it soon. And Rwanda is also one of those countries which is interested in those satellites.
Now the negotiations start. The head of state mentions the progress two countries made in bilateral relations since Paul Kagame's last visit to Kazakhstan in 2015, as well as emphasizes the country's willingness for expanding ties with countries of the African continent.
Under your strong and wise leadership, Rwanda has emerged as a model of institutional resilience and forward-looking innovation. That your economic growth of your country is very much impressive. More than 8%, and it's a showcase of modernizing the economy, and in this context we place significant emphasis on fostering mutually beneficial cooperation with your country. Kazakhstan stands ready to bring our aspirations to practical dimension.
It's a pleasure to be back to Astana. Has made remarkable strides in national development, matched by a growing and constructive role on the world stage. And we are happy to be partners and friends with you and your country.
During the ceremony of exchange documents, Kazakh and Rwandan counterparts interchange a number of agreements, including one that will enable beryllium supplies from Rwanda to Kazakhstan.
Rwanda is an East African state very rich in minerals and in beryllium in particular. And Ulba metallurgical plant possesses one of the unique technologies in the world how to process beryllium concentrate into the specific beryllium metal. Therefore, we will consider potential opportunities regarding supply of beryllium from Rwanda to Ulba metallurgical plants. We will process concentrate and produce beryllium metal.
Astana International Forum is an annual event held in Kazakhstan's capital, has become a place of attraction for leading minds of the world who forum decision-making for the challenges of modernity. It's attended by many leaders of countries, global policymakers and experts. Now you can see the head of state has arrived at the venue. Very soon he will deliver his welcoming speech opening the Astana International Forum.
Discussions that take place on this kind of forums are very important in these challenging times today in the world, and I think the discussions are way and even better than some other kind of the actions.
And before the summit starts, you can see the traditional family photo with the President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, and his distinguished guests.
Host, the President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev.
Opening the forum, President Tokayev expresses his gratitude to the participants of the event, including the presidents of Rwanda and North Macedonia, Secretary General of the Council of Europe, Secretary General of the United Nations for their contribution to the forum. The head of state also underlines the role of the Astana International Forum and its theme, Connecting Minds, Shaping the Future, which in his point of view is a call for even deeper global cooperation. Now you can see President Tokayev welcomes the participants of the forum, as well as highlighting the role of Kazakhstan in promoting multilateral values in unprecedented global uncertainty.
First of all, the younger generation. Instead of making wars, we must embrace our peoples. First of all, the younger generation, to become more engaged in making progress, in creating enlightened societies. While conventional conflicts demand urgent attention, we must also focus on even more challenging perspective, the growing strain between nuclear-armed states.
The attention of the audience is also caught by the speech of the Director General of UN's FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, Qu Dongju, who said that Kazakhstan, with its agricultural potential, is able to feed 1 billion people in the world. Last year, Qu Dongju hosted President Tokayev at the headquarters of FAO in Rome, agreeing in supporting Kazakhstan's efforts in preserving its biodiversity. What are the projects we are ready to implement with FAO on that?
We will work with all the related projects on the natural resource management, water, and new varieties, new technology, and of course the biodiversity conservation.
After the opening panel session, the President of Kazakhstan proceeds to the bilateral meetings. One of them is with the chair of the Council of Global Green Growth Institute and the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, who used to be a close colleague of Kassym-Jomart Tokayev during his work at the UN. The head of state thanks the institute for its expert support in the development of the carbon neutrality strategy of Kazakhstan and its participation in the program of ecological restoration of the dried Aral Sea. In an interview with the Silkway, Mr. Ban Ki-moon highlighted the leadership of Kazakhstan, calling countries to work together on global sustainable development.
Kazakhstan is one of the very influential countries not only in Central Asia, but also in the Asian continent. Therefore, I sincerely hope that under the leadership of President Tokayev, he can really discuss this matter visionally and also globally. So at this time, all the global challenges can only be addressed by global solidarity, global unity. And there is no such country, Kazakhstan, China, United States, or Japan, Korea. So we have to join all our hands on the deck together. And at the same time, we must not forget the solid partnership among government, business communities, and civil society.
During the meeting with the Secretary General of the Council of Europe, President Tokayev underlines Kazakhstan's commitment to further deepening of interaction, as well as inform Mr. Berset about the implementation of a large-scale program of political reforms in the country. And in terms of challenges, you've mentioned, I think one of the biggest challenge now to the security architecture of Europe is ongoing Russian-Ukrainian war. Was this topic also addressed and discussed, and what were the positions of the...
It was for me the occasion to recall one more time, it's what we do at the Council of Europe, to see that, yes, sure, every continent, country need clearly security for itself, for the population. And I'm always underlying the importance to have a comprehensive approach on what is security. That means it is not only hard security, it is not only defense, weapons and the system of defense. It must be built on a larger ground of democratic security, because at the end, what are we fighting for when we defend ourselves? It is not only about territories, it is also about way of life, values, the importance of democracy, the rule of law and human rights. And it was a good occasion for me to express to the President what we are doing right now on the continent, and to express also the importance to be in contact with huge respect for different contexts, and knowing that we can always learn from each other.
Reporter with President team proceeds working on set. Soon the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni will arrive in Astana with her first official visit. Right before it, we speak to the newly appointed ambassador of Italy to Kazakhstan, Antonello Di Rio, about his expectations ahead of the official program.
This visit marks, it's historical because it's the first visit of Italian Prime Minister here in Kazakhstan. And it follows several visits that has been taking place in both countries, in Kazakhstan and in Italy, both official of the two countries, in the last 3.5 years, 14 official visits. And we have to also to recall the meeting that has been taking place here in Astana between President Mattarella and President Tokayev.
Yes, earlier this year.
Earlier this year in March. So now in May we have this important visit, and of course together with the political engagement of Italy, there is also a strong economic relations that will be reinforced through the signature of very important agreements.
So the political week continues here in Astana with first official visit of the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni to Kazakhstan. She's welcomed by President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, who just finished his bilateral negotiations at the Astana International Forum. As I said previously, the week is very, very busy. It is expected that tomorrow Giorgia Meloni and Kassym-Jomart Tokayev will hold bilateral negotiations. They will discuss the partnership both in narrow and extended formats, as well as take part in first ever Central Asia-Italy summit. An official program starts with the Prime Minister's welcoming remarks at the Astana International Forum, where she elevates the importance of a multifaceted dialogue between nations, calling her visit a historical moment for Italy and Kazakhstan relations.
I'm certain it will be a decisive moment to intensify our relations and make them even more sound, long-lasting, and strategic. And this is not a path that begins today, but one we have been pursuing together for some time. Italy was the first nation in the EU to decide to invest in relation with Central Asia and its individual member nation.
Now, President Tokayev hosts Prime Minister Meloni in Akorda Palace. The negotiations in both narrow and extended formats will follow. Italy is Kazakhstan's key partner in the European Union. The partnership develops in different sectors of economy, including in higher education. Over 4,000 Kazakh students currently study in Italy.
So that allowed us to have really big negotiations with several leading Italian higher education institutions and universities, which resulted in opening the very first branch campus of Italian university in Kazakhstan, Politecnico delle Marche, which is one of the leading food processing, agriculture and agronomy technical universities in Italy. So we, during the visit of Her Excellency Prime Minister of Italy, we will announce opening of his branch campus in Жетісу, based on Жетісу regional universities. We're starting with 4 bachelor programs: agronomy, food science, food processing, agriculture engineering, seed selection.
Negotiations in extended format have begun. Italy, as you know, is one of the largest trade partners of Kazakhstan and also one of the major importers of country's crude oil. But other than that, the counterparts are discussing the prospects for developing projects in green energy, logistics and infrastructure. Speaking at the meeting, President Tokayev once again stated that close political dialogue has been established between the two countries. Strong economic cooperation is developing, cultural and humanitarian ties are actively strengthening.
We appreciate the intention and commitment of the Italian government led by you to have a closer relationship with Kazakhstan, not only in trade, investment area, but also with regard to links and cooperation between both parliaments. We also very much appreciate our exchanges in the humanitarian area. Your visit is very much important in terms of giving us very powerful impetus for further development.
I want to tell you that I think you are one of the most pragmatic leaders I've met, and that it's very useful to talk with somebody that really understands how complex things are in these difficult times. But in these difficult times, there are some good news, and one of those good news is the extraordinary relation between Italy and Kazakhstan.
Of course, cooperation in the energy sector remains to be prioritized in Kazakh-Italian bilateral relations, with a strong focus on developing alternative and sustainable projects with a deep localization.
Maire Tecnimont is leading global and Italian engineering company in the sphere of petrochemicals and oil and gas. They are opening a regional hub in Kazakhstan. They will be training local people, local expertise, and from their hub and office in Kazakhstan, they will be covering Central Asia and Caucasus.
We are talking about the 2 projects worth something very close to $6 billion. The first one, the petrochemical unit, is in the region of 3.8 billion US dollars equivalent, and the rest relates to the gas treatment unit. So it's a very, very important project. At least for our group, 6 billion is an important size.
Now you can see the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is going to attend the first ever CA Italy summit. She has arrived at the venue earlier today, where the Prime Minister held a series of bilateral meetings with the presidents of Central Asia. Before the start of the CA-Italy summit, the head of state meets the president of Turkmenistan, Serdar Berdimuhamedov. The counterparts express satisfaction in development of bilateral relations, underlining the importance of deepening regional cooperation.
Today, our relations with brotherly Kazakhstan are developing very dynamically. You've mentioned the visit of the national leader, the esteemed hero Arkadак. It was held at the highest level. During the meeting between President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and our president, it was emphasized that although the visit had a friendly nature in its content, it was truly a state visit. Today, I would like to once again emphasize that the diplomatic interaction between Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan is steadily advancing.
Opening the Central Asia-Italy summit, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev says that for more than 3 decades, Italy has shown itself to be Central Asia's reliable partner. The president expresses confidence that the synergy of opportunities in the Central Asia Plus format will create a powerful foundation for expanding mutually beneficial partnerships.
Первоочередной приоритет – углубление торгово-экономических связей.
The first priority is to deepen trade and economic ties. Tariff conflicts between the world's key economic poles are fraught with dire consequences for all countries. In such realities, it is extremely important for us not only to preserve the established trade and economic ties, but also to make efforts to strengthen them. Kazakhstan is able to increase exports to Italy for more than 100 commodity items, worth about $1 billion.
The president of Kazakhstan also calls on strengthening transcontinental connectivity, adding that by developing the Trans-Caspian international transportation route, our countries will be able to essentially revive the ancient Silk Road on a new basis. The first ever CA-Italy summit has finished with high-level participants adopting the joint declaration. The general atmosphere this week was very fruitful. Kazakhstan hosted several world leaders as well as one of the largest international forums in Asia. That's everything we wanted to share with you this time. See you soon. Bye.